Hello guys, I just think I'll give a couple of you a few seconds to just come on for a minute, purely because I just don't want to get distracted. I want to continue with what I've got to say. I've tagged Stephen Morgan for a reason, because I'm here to stay. I may not be staying here as in staying here, but I'm going to be staying here, and there's a reason for it. So I just give a couple of people that I know that do wait for my notifications that I'm live to just literally just jump on very, very, very quickly. So as I have tagged Stephen Morgan, who is the MP here for Portsmouth for Labour, who is currently challenging and bolting and pushing and making Boris very grey for the moment. Great evening to you, Claire. Hello there, Laura. Anyway, let me just get going because I'm going to lose my whole train of thought. Don't you just love clarity? Don't you just love bullies? Don't you just love facing the fear and doing it anyway? Don't you just love really, really, really challenging days where you and yourself, me and myself and I have to go at it all bloody day? And it's a really, really great challenge, but it's a hard challenge for people who don't have the tools that I've got to be able to do this yourself. Why do I have the tools that I have? So let's start again. I first started in youth work. The reason that I started in youth work is because I was in foster care in Farnham from the age of 15. I went to school in Ash Manor School. I'd been to many previous schools, so hence why I've got Stephen Morgan, because Stephen Morgan is the shadow Minister for the Education. He's the shadow Mister, so he's not the Minister of Education, he's the shadow. Okay, so he's the person behind it, hence why you're in a left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, halt! So anyway, I trained to be a strategic interventionalist. Why did I train to be a strategic interventionalist? I trained to be a strategic interventionalist because I had spent my life having multi-agency frameworks around me and all these people who govern the paperwork that sign off what is called an indicative budget, which people know as special needs education, and it's things to do with people like myself who have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, again, as I would say, Mr. Ehlers and Mr. Danlos were men who went off and they got their microscopes and they got their things and they studied the collagen and how collagen moves in a body. Every single one of us is made of collagen. Everything, all women know about collagen. The Botox. And the Botox lips. Hey, rubber lips. Oh, hang on a minute. Hey, laser lips. Your mother, what a snowblower. Look at them lips. What else did I used to get? The boys used to call me Moose and Minger. The girls used to call me... What did the girls used to call me? I don't think the girls were brave enough to call me anything, actually. I don't think they ever said it to my face. I used to write it on the back of the doors. Like I said, Karine wrote, suck my fanny, suck my titch. Oh no, what was it? Happy birthday. Sorry to do this on your birthday, Aaron, but this is really, really, really cool. Thanks for your birthday, for awakening your mother alive within me to reconnect to the little boy that I hemorrhaged. Now, Mr. Stephen Morgan, you are not a father. In fact, I do believe that you are gay, hence why you stand for gay pride, and hence why you are not listening to me talking about the gay community that adopting from the pound known as foster care, just like dogs and the RSPCA. That's what we people are. We are the RSPCA of the foster care industry, and our children are nothing more than stray pups, so neglected, so abused, so traumatised. Unfortunately, hand on heart, there are children that are. Most children are traumatised because they're taken away from their mothers way, way, way too soon. The reason that a lot of these mothers disconnect from their babies is because they're told they're going to be taken. My mother would have nothing to do with my pregnancy with Elijah because she kept saying he's going to be taken. The day she realised that he wasn't going to be taken, let me just make sure, because my little Aspie head sometimes forgets just 2 seconds. I have I've left the cooker on. Seriously, keys. Where's my keys, actually? Where's my keys? Just while I think about it, where's my keys? I don't have a proper key hook. I kept saying to Dean, I need to get a key hook in. You've got to be careful with all of these walls. No, you're not going out, dude. Keys. So, what do these keys mean, by the way? Being that you all know that you had your sunflowers and hidden condition things going on way before lockdown. And don't forget how I get in everywhere and everywhere I go, because nobody knows how many jackets I wear. Because I'm a contractor. So anyway, I think it's time to occupy Portsmouth. Why do I think it's time to occupy Portsmouth? I'm going to stop waffling and get to the point now, because I've given people time to come in. So if you come in after this point now, please don't distract me. I've had some food for thought, and the word Portsmouth, the name Portsmouth, the city Portsmouth, has been the most consistent, fundamental thing in my life. Whenever I get any questions and it says, where are you from? Sorry, where are you born? Portsmouth. Portsmouth is on my birth certificate. Portsmouth is on my passport. Portsmouth is on every document to do with me on where I was born. The only thing that anything has ever wanted to know is not where I have lived, unless that's my address, but it always wants to know where I was born, because this is where my birth certificate is. This is where I was registered of my birth. So I've decided that the first documents that Aaron and Faith will ever be given is their birth certificate. On that birth certificate will have my name and place of birth. So the first place that my children are going to go, if they don't go online, or if they meet this thing and go, rah, okay, at least they'll go, is that the worst of my mum? And they're going to read it and go, well, hang on a minute. Faith's diagnosed with EDS. I don't know what they've done with Aaron, because Aaron was diagnosed with EDS prior to being adopted. But if they had ever agreed with Aaron's diagnosis for EDS, it would have undermined the court case immediately. Because don't forget, Aaron and Faith were taken on the basis of false information. The first thing that they stated, that I was actually sectioned when Aaron was 7 months old, and both Aaron and Faith had lived with their paternal grandparents. That was the opening line in court that I walked into the next day, and I said to the judge, well, it was actually the Justice of Peace, so there was 3, and I was a mother on my own. Not forgetting that I had slip discs in my back waiting to go to A&E and couldn't go to A&E. And what would have happened is my auntie would have just driven to save the family anyway and taken me to her house and looked after the kids there. And my cousin Stephen would have run me up to A&E. We didn't get that chance. At Save the Family and living in any formal, independent, supported, government, hostel, all of those sort of places, until you have a secure tenancy, you have to have 24 hours notice for any guests to attend. Graham, who you know from the previous blog, now lives in Hope House. If I wanted to go and see Graham, Graham has to give 24 hours notice in order for me to come down and see him at his place. He can come up and see me, but I wouldn't have Graham here within this, and he doesn't actually know where I am, and I protect this zone so people that I do work with around the streets, it's not that difficult to find me. You could probably follow me, but I'm pretty careful and pretty thin about how I do it and things like that. And there are people within this vicinity around here that know me and know that if anybody came to this area to go, like, don't forget where I lived before, Josie turned up at the window and went, they've taken the baby. So straight away that came into my personal life, and it was like, wow, bang, hang on a minute, what the fuck do I do? I've got a 17-year-old girl at the door that's had her baby taken, dumph. Now, I bring this back to Stephen Morgan, because Stephen Morgan is the shadow education minister, and he's based here in Portsmouth. Stephen Morgan knows my name. He doesn't know me personally, but he certainly knows my name. He knows my face. He knows I am. And hey, Stephen, how you doing? But he's got a dog. So his boyfriend got a dog. So anyway, Not judging, Stephen, not judging. What I'm saying is you're not fit for the purpose of the right thing that you're doing, because you can't speak from the point of view of children and the needs of children. You can't speak from a maternal point of view. In some countries, children don't go to school until they're 7. They don't separate the mother. Now you're expected to go back to work when babies are 6 months old, taken off the breast, yeah? So these people can't talk about breastfeeding, they can't talk about hormones, they can't talk about emotions, they can't talk about feelings. And this is something that is completely missed from the moment you take your child to that school ground and you drop your child off into school. Now, they have things called secure attachments and whether your child goes in, No. Aaron and Faith, when they were placed with complete and utter strangers, my son went under the table. And they go, oh, he did this because he was so abused. No. Because you had taken him from such a loving family and placed him with one of them. Yes, darling? Oh, you're allowed to disturb me for that. You're allowed to disturb me for that. That's fine. Go and jump off. Right, 2 seconds though, because I'm carrying on. I'm hopefully Stephen Morgan will be watching this. You know who Stephen Morgan is, don't you? Okay, so, and you know the mayor is here in Portsmouth, yeah? And you know all the officials and all the police and head of people are here, yeah? All right, well, they'll be watching this live, so give me a minute, dude. And they will be. Hello there, Olivia Pickney. How you doing? I'm about to occupy Portsmouth. Are you ready? And I am, honey. I'm occupying Portsmouth. And we can go that way. 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 And how many people in this world right now can do that? How many people in the world can take their middle finger and move their middle finger? How many people can separate their fingers? And how do you separate your fingers? And how many people can curl their complete hand and fold it? That. And how many people, I'll do it with the other hand, can put their hands forward or back? I can't do this. How many people, I can actually to a certain degree. How many people, mine don't, but with other people, this goes the other way. Mine don't. Mine don't. How many people can put their hands flat on the floor and down? And they have to be careful because obviously my hip is healing and it's a little bit dodgy at the moment. Stephen Morgan, you cannot ask every single child to sit down in a class, listen and learn. It doesn't work. Children work auditorial, semantically, kinesically, and many other words that I can throw at you from everything from Piaget. Then you want to come into the point of criminology. So, okay, let's talk about Durkheim. Then you want to come into psychology. Okay, let's talk about which one do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Freud? Do you want to talk about Pavlos? Do you want to talk about all of these people? Okay, let's go into science. Yeah? So what subject is it that you want to go into? Let's go into PE. Go back to the days of Ben Jonson and me and my granddad sitting down trying to put together a magazine for school. And then my granddad giving me the article. This is my granddad on Alison's side. Rock up to my granddad. I've got to finish this stuff as well because it's really important for court. And Alison, I could really do with your help right now with this and actually finding out exactly which Sir Lord Pierce is our fucking bloodline, because it matters. And it matters more now than ever, because I still don't know whether there's a political stuff on the courts. I'm sitting into court as Kellie Cotton. I'm going into court as Kellie Avis. I'm going back into court as Kelly Hill, Kellie Avis Forrester, Kelly Wilkinson, Kellie Cotton. Because when Aaron and Faith were taken, now let's go back to this, okay? Let me remind you something. Stephen Morgan, you don't know the pain of losing a child, but you do have a nephew. I would never step in and interfere with your nephew or your sister. However, This is getting to a very serious point now where I have already had you witnessing Josie's baby taken. You didn't step in and do anything. The mayor, the previous mayor, the mayor before that. There isn't an MP in this city or a police officer. The problem is with Portsmouth is they rotate and they come in from mixed between Southampton and things like that. Okay, why do I need my postcode? I need my postcode and I need my council tax. Connects all your Equifax, Experian, electoral roll. So I basically need to be on the electoral roll here. And if anybody remembers the good old phone book, yeah? Because that makes me easy, traceable and trackable for Aaron and Faith in every other way other than this trial. I don't know how long this website's going to take up, but I am not taking the risk that as from today, Aaron will be in a very different situation online as a 13-year-old little boy. He would have been given more leniency and more access to the internet. That means he's going to find his mum. On the birth certificate, it will state both me and the father on Aaron's, but only me on Faith's, because Stephen didn't turn up. Based on that, on my birth certificate, and in fact, if I'm 2 seconds, hang on a minute, I might even be a little bit organised. Hang on. Am I a little bit organised? I'm not organised, but I should be a little bit organised. That if I push through just slightly, I might. Oh, Stephen Morgan, by the way, mister, yeah, we're going all the way. And the reason that we're going all the way, I'll just come across something then. Child protection, mate, for the last 7 years on and off. One, because of trolls, which they've admitted to, but because you abused me in exactly the same way, using what they used to even put me through it in the first place. What Portsmouth should have done is the moment that I proved that all this information was incorrect. Oh, and to my trolls, by the way, I can open up this very page here and show you immediately that I can discredit you. And I've already done it, goodness knows how many times. Okay. Kellie Ann was seen in antenatal today. She is 20 weeks pregnant and has an abnormal scan, which is normal. This is her 4th pregnancy. Her last baby was born in 2008, but the 2 previous were quite a bit older. She has had 3 normal deliveries, but her last one was known as a postpartum hemorrhage. And looking through the notes, it appears to have not been straight away and eventually passed some tissue on the ward. She required a 2-unit blood transfusion. I will drop Dr. Burley, but it appears that during her pregnancy, her problems appeared to start later on. And I initially arranged to see her again at 34 weeks to assess how she's going with her joint pain and to organise a planned delivery. I have sent Kellie a copy of this letter to keep her informed, and I will look forward to seeing her in the pregnancy. So I had a planned pregnancy for Faith, okay? So yet again, there's my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome diagnosis. There's my joint pain and planned delivery. Yeah, there. So that shuts you right in the fucking face. So at the end of the day, this was all it was about. It was a high-risk pregnancy. And the way that the education system, multi-agency framework works, it's just not good enough. It's not fair. It's not right. So, Stephen Morgan, I started as a youth worker. And then my own condition made it too difficult for me to be able to do that. And also, I was finally diagnosed. Ooh, what we got here? We got Dr. Maya Edwards' report in here. What's on this? See, one day, the moment this is all done and this is all finished, Portsmouth, I'm suing the arses off you. From the day that I was born, for 43 years, every branch on the tree that you've caused as a result of it, and I'm going to set the biggest precedence ever in the state of land, because I'm going to be taking everybody, to make sure that people like us, that when we get diagnosed, and that doesn't matter if you mentally diagnose us, physically diagnose us, we have a legal right to treatment, not caught, criminalised, and our children taken. And saying that it would take 2 years for somebody to have cognitive behavioural therapy, which is basically talking to people, taking people away from communicating with their fathers, mothers, aunts and uncles, and just having a family mediator, which would be so cost effective, than this whole shambles of a money manipulating hierarchy pyramid scheme. Should we carry on? So I've decided that I need to keep a residency here. Basically, I'll tell you what, when I go through these things, some of it is just, look, some of it's in order, yeah? Hey, Lisa, you could actually come and be really constructive, love, if you weren't such a cunt. So, literally, I need to be able to go in through these bundles. Nah. Hello, Stephen Morgan. Olivia Pickney. Olivia Pickney. I refer to your complaint against the police, which were locally resolved by Inspector Coss. Please refer to the enclosed local resolution document, which is detailed the action towards your resolve of your complaint. You have the right to appeal against the outcome of the local resolution within 28 days, blah, 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 blah. Yeah? Which, upheld complaint for an unlawful and unnecessary detainment of Elijah and me outside Edgbaston House. And I've been very nice to Portsmouth, being how I've been treated here. I've been very nice to the trolls, being how I've been treated. I will never, ever, 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 ever be forced to change my beautiful, wonderful, kind, loving ways. And I will never... here we go. So, anyway, this is where we were last. This is an appellant notice on the 1st of June 2015. As you know, I left... I've got the case number on here as well, but the only thing is I haven't got the adoption number. So basically, I've got to get back here. This was Jenny Dazzle from Flintshire, and it was the Legal Democratic Service, County Hall, Mould. I've got it and everything. And I actually have an address, so I wasn't homeless. And I've got to get back to literally... I think I'm doing a 100, so this is what I need to know. If anybody, and this is what I'm going to be finding out, I'm literally going to be around here finding out every form number over the next couple of weeks. The boys are going to be learning it with me because it's fun. They're learning law. And I've basically got to file with me as the appellant for the unlawful and unnecessary detainment of Aaron and Faith, and finally oppose their original order and granted out of time based on all the previous. And I'm taking it back even further because they missed out all of the previous information. They falsified information. It is misfeasance. It is non-misfeasance. And there are many other words, but I'm not illegal. Look, the learned judge concedes that the appellant's emotional response was understandable to the removal of her children. The appellant also suffers from mental health problems. No. Again, more, more. Just these words, isn't it? Just these words, words. So this is where I basically am. But in the meantime, I'm going to protect my ass. And I'm going to protect my ass from all angles, because I don't trust the police to go over to the police station right now with as much as I've got and go, right, we need to talk. I need to get this website down. I've got to protect the boys. I've got to safeguard the boys because we don't know who it is. We don't know who's watching. I can't share things in the same way that I used to. And, you know, and and I don't trust the courts with me going in by myself on my own. I don't trust the medical people to just sort of go, hey, let's just focus on our medical stuff and leave everything else. So I'm hitting it from all angles. And I will be, once I have put together this document and I can funnel it through to, I only have to do it in certain stages. So it's like the main entrance form skeleton, but because I'm not going to have much time, so there's something like 14 days in between, or 21 days, I need to work on it before I've even got it. So it's like literally playing dominoes, and it just literally just go then we can move forward. Then we can move forward to a family-friendly world and community that we also need. And all the singlies, if you don't want to be around the families, you know, go do what you've got to do. But we don't need the debauchery on our streets. It's a beautiful world. I very much love it. I think the world's loved everybody being locked down. I think the world's not looking forward to everybody coming back properly. And I'm talking about the planet itself. And there's shitloads of satellites up ready for your Hunger Games, watching us from left, right and centre. We don't intervene in what is going on right now, if we don't really knock it down and say no to what is going on. And you can't protest. Protest is saying, that's like somebody in cuffs going, no, don't arrest me. You're in cuffs, love. You're already arrested. But you can protest all you like. You're in cuffs. So we have to file. We have to. It's not about disobedience. It's not about that. It's about taking back our own heart, minds and souls, and about us loving our neighbour, being part of a community, and putting a fucking smile on our faces and getting out of our phones. So literally, don't delete it at this particular point, but be very diligent in what you're doing, because we need these at the moment, because our children are all being brought through. And I'm talking about people who are looking for their kids. I've got to do what I've got to do. I've got to restart, but I've got to get my schedule right first, so I can literally go, on these days I write, and this is what the boys are doing. Because at the end of the day, I'm dealing with the trauma that a judge said that I would pass my children off to the state to meet my own needs. So if mother meets their own needs, I worry about people going, oh, where's the boys? Because us mothers can't meet our own needs now, can we? Actually, if we ain't meeting our own needs, love, we ain't teaching our children who we are, and we're not passing off our gifts to our children. And they need them, because that's why they're our children. That's why a mother like me buys children skates and we get up and we go. If they're not interested in it, they put it down and they do something else. Just like I'm not interested in skateboarding, but Shiloh loves it. Aaron loves it. Liam loves it. Daniel didn't. Yeah? And that's just the way it is. But as a mother, you've got to compensate for them all. So because I've got Elijah and Shiloh here, and we need to be off travelling and living our lives and doing what we're doing and things like that, I've got to think about Liam and Daniel, that always need to know where their mother is. She's based, she's safe, she's all right. You know, she's getting on, she's doing her life. But I also need to go to London, and I also need to go to Brussels, and I need to go to New York, and I need to go to a couple of other places to file these documents on people legally and precise. What holds me back is being triggered and traumatised by the fucking idiots on that website, because every time I take a big leap forward and I get someone and they Google and they get that, people change, people treat me differently. That's their own fault. Because when I come through with a teammate, and I only need 5 people to do this with me, really. I need 5 people to do this with me. And that is literally the QC, the barrister, the solicitor, their PA, and their secretary. We're done. Dun, 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 dun. Booyaka, booyaka. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's over. Oh yeah. Because why would they want my case to come through? Because I would open up the fucking doors for the lot of you. Ain't nothing in my paperwork, mate, that ain't going to touch yours, that is going to then turn around and go, well, hang on, she wasn't that. But should we really be doing this to people that are that in the first place? Should we really be treating people that we put under the Mental Health Act like prisoners and criminals? Should we really be sectioning them and isolating them out of society and then wondering why they're fucking thing? Because you drugged them up like fucking raging nutters and turned them into raging fucking lunatics, basically, and walking around with your little spray things and your mace and wondering why people are not healing. Because they need nature, they need love, they need to be out here, and you know, they need people around them that just understand on days like today. Don't fucking traumatise the woman. If she's already made it clear, don't put that stuff on her website. Don't let her wake up on the morning of her son's birthday, mate, and see it on there, because she's going to have enough. Because if I was paying you, mate, you'd get fired. If I were fucking paying you to do this shit, mate, you'd get fired. But if I was paying somebody to do it, I would be able to sit down and tell them exactly what it is that I wanted. They would be qualified and experienced to do the job that I'm asking them to do. And I'll be paying them a fee to get it done. And if they don't, they're in breach of their contract. And that's where we're up against again. Because it's all about employment. It's all about commercial linen. I can take shitloads of money out of this place and put it back. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So anyway, Stephen Morgan. Hello, Kellie Cottam. Get used to the fact that you're going to be bringing people back from France and bringing them here. Get used to the fact that I'm going to be bringing a lot of property people here with a lot of money that is going to buy out some of your properties around here, ready for something that I want to deal with them. And get ready for the fact that I'm going to be putting my head up around Portsmouth and saying, you know that woman that's been skating around your city? You know that woman that you keep her out of the papers, but she's been in there quite a lot. You know that woman that's been dancing around your city? This is what it's all about. And I'm going to thank the people of Portsmouth. Because the people of Portsmouth are the people that have kept me safe. Because I was born here. And there ain't nothing that no one can do to me. Because I am in the true essence. And in the true space where I was born. And I was brought into this whole galaxy and whole universe in this energy, this space and this time. So I was born here. I'm not going to die here. I might come back to be buried if it all goes down. But right now, I'm going to occupy it. And I think a lot of people understand what that means. So, #Occupy Portsmouth.